You built the business. Now, build the man. This is the Ben Price experience.
I want to talk to you about imposter syndrome, because imposter syndrome is not identity flaw. Really, it's partially identity, but it's not a flaw necessarily. One is out of alignment with who they really are. And we have residue, which sits in our mind from previous experiences. Some people would call that trauma. I like this idea of residue, just leaves a print. Imposter syndrome can hit people really hard when you're winning and when it's a bit quiet and you get the doubt. So, am I really good enough to stay on this track? So the residue that you might have had in the past is, past failures where you hid rather than process. You hid those past failures and you haven't processed them. You haven't kind of worked through whether they were really a failure or not and found the truth. You've not integrated success into your identity. Maybe you don't feel like you're worthy of it. Maybe you don't feel like you're enough for it. Maybe you're receiving praise for something you don't feel like you've really earned because maybe it came a lot easier than you expected, or it's come easy and you're used to working hard. Perhaps you're comparing yourself to others on a different mission, and then you feel this fear of being found out because you've outrun your old self. It's not random insecurity, it's unprocessed residue, which is as a result of all of your previous operations, and it shows up as self-doubt. But if you're going to be an elite operator and an ambitious person, then we need to stop seeing this as a problem and start seeing it as intelligence, as feedback. Because the feedback is that the identity that you currently hold is too small for the mission you're operating at now. So the residue of you're not good enough is saying that you haven't updated your state of being to match the current situation you're facing. So you need to update your state of being. You need to remind yourself who you really are. But if you're getting feedback, listen to the feedback and then work through it. And you can apply the 3 weapons to the imposter syndrome. So the 3 weapons are, weapon number 1 is to stop judging yourself. The imposter syndrome accelerates when you keep comparing yourself to somebody else's highlight reel. So if you're judging yourself, it's because you're looking at something else and going, oh, I'm not there yet though. So that creates separation from yourself and then that can leave trauma. So if you wouldn't say it to your best friend, don't say it to yourself. So stop judging yourself first of all. Give yourself a pat on the back. Recognize what you've achieved, even if maybe you don't feel like you deserved it, but maybe you need to just work through that and understand that you did deserve it because you've got it. There's no mistakes in the universe. Weapon number 2 is hostage negotiation and forgiveness. So who are you comparing yourself to? Who are you afraid of disappointing? Are you still trying to prove yourself to somebody? Whoever that is, you may be being held hostage in your mind to that person, or you're holding somebody else, you're holding yourself hostage. So release that judgment and forgive yourself for experiencing the self-doubt, for experiencing the comparison. You're only human. This is what humans end up doing. And then the third thing is just remind yourself of your mission and your clarity. Get clarity on what your mission is, because when you're on a mission, you're less likely to suffer imposter syndrome if it's clear in your mind. You might experience some identity lag, which is where, you've got to this state of success and then you're like, oh, I'm not really that person, but I've achieved this. So you might experience that, but that's not such a bad thing. It's just being uncomfortable, but you've got to get alignment. So just check back. If you have a set of declarations, which if you work with me, you will have, check back on your declarations. Check to see if it's aligned with who you really are. What's missing? There's always something you can add to your declarations. You can always make it more aligned with who you really are. So I think the main message is this, is like, you're not faking it. If you're experiencing imposter syndrome, you're not faking it. you're just pushing beyond the limits of a self-doubt, of your self-image. Your self-image is outdated and it needs updating. So the best tool that I have for that is the declarations, understanding who you are, and maybe you've got to check back in on that and see where is it not aligned. You're not an imposter. You're an entrepreneur who has outpaced his or her identity, and you haven't processed the residue of winning. The war is not against doubt. The war is against that residue. So once you clear that, you're going to find that you're going to feel a lot more peaceful. If this has been useful, love to see your comments below, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
You've been listening to the Ben Price Experience. These conversations are not just for entertainment, they are also an invitation to confront the truth about what you're experiencing in life. An invitation to upgrade your standards and to lead from a more powerful, grounded and peaceful place, and to start to win the war in your mind. If any of the messages hit home in these conversations that we have, and you want to go deeper, then I recommend applying to join Camp OCCE. That's Camp OCCCE, 3 C's. One conversation can change everything. This is a camp where we take off the masks that we wear as men, and we refuse to engage in kind of the norm. We spend time with each other. We haven't got any phones. There's no hiding. You'll be challenged. It's pretty chilled at the same time, and you'll walk away probably the most clear that you've felt in a long time. So if that sounds like something you'd like to experience, I'm inviting you to apply. I'm not saying that we don't just take everybody, but yeah, go to the website www.campoc3cs and e.com. All right, thanks for listening. Lots of love and have a powerful day.